Recently, there was a snippet of a story we did in 2018. It was about religious people in the United States, Christians specifically, who wanted to essentially enact more restrictive anti-abortion legislation. They wanted to essentially use their religion to dictate how we live our lives. Now, that snippet that went viral really confused me because I don't know why a video from November of 2018 would get all of this attention suddenly. And then I realized, oh, that's right. There's something big happening in Poland right now. They just passed incredibly restrictive anti-abortion laws. So the BBC reported that abortion in Poland is now allowed only in cases of rape or incest or when the pregnancy threatens the life of the mother. The ruling by the Constitutional Court found that a 1993 law allowing abortion in cases of severe and irreversible fetal abnormalities was unconstitutional. So if you are found to have a pregnancy where the fetus has severe defects, like severe issues, in Poland, you are forced to keep carrying that fetus. And it is an unbelievably cruel, terrible law to implement. The court justified its ruling on the grounds that an unborn child is a human being, and therefore it deserves protection under Poland's constitution, which ensures the right to life. And in 2019, 98% of abortions were carried out on those grounds, meaning that there was some sort of abnormality or defect with the fetus. And so this ruling effectively banned the vast majority of pregnancy terminations in the country. So with that context in mind, you can understand why this went viral.
These comments might be strong, but it's how I genuinely feel. I don't care that you're a Christian. I don't care what the Bible says. Like, I feel like it's a clown show, like sitting here trying to decipher what your little mythical book has to say about these very real political issues, right? I don't care if you're Christian. In fact, I will fight for you to have your religious liberty and practice your Christianity. I believe in that. I don't believe in Christianity, which means that you do not get to dictate the way I live my life based on your religion. I don't care what the Bible says. You have every right in the world. All those women who identify with your religion have every right in the world to not get an abortion, to not take birth control, but they do not have the right to dictate my life and what I decide to do with my body. I don't care about your goddamn religion. I'm so tired of having nonstop conversations about what the Bible says. You live your life in the way that you interpret the Bible. Again, I don't care, but you don't get to take the Bible and tell me, well, the Bible says this in this chapter, in this verse. I don't care. I don't care. I don't believe in it. And I have the right, based on our Constitution, to not believe in it.
Cenk, like the stuff that actually ended up, I don't know, making me feel like I have a purpose, making me proud of my career. There are things that I didn't expect, right? Like, it's kind of crazy because I would have never expected that video would go viral. But more importantly, who cares about me going viral? I wouldn't have expected that my rant there would speak to people who want to articulate the same thing and were afraid to articulate it, but watching me say it gives them like the courage or the comfort to say it. And I'm not just putting words in people's mouths. So I got a lot of messages from people from Poland that I want to share with you guys. Actually, Cenk, if we pull up the graphics, can you read it? Because it's embarrassing to read really nice things about myself. So can you just do it?
Yeah, sure.
The first graphic.
And then I'll tell you about some of the best moments we've had that I think are related to our stand against religion. And I want to go back to the issue of Poland as well, but let's see these. So this person wrote in, "Hi, I only would like to thank you for your speech. I'm from Poland where government don't give a what about people's rights. Strong words like yours give us power to fight with this little what. Thanks, appreciate your courage to say it loud. And yes, the Polish government is right wing and doesn't give a damn about your rights. And I love that you're fighting back." We got another one. I do not even know if you'll read this message. Apparently you know now, but I would like you to know that you're my heroine. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, I've been replying this video a million times, and I wish my Polish government could finally understand this real political issue. And by the way, guys, here, let's pause for a second for me to say something. When I go to meetups, or when I used to pre-COVID, the number one comment I hear now is, Anna is my daughter's role model, or she's a hero to me because of how strong she is. And I love that, and I'm so proud of that. It's one of the things I'm most proud of in my entire career. I love strong women, and that we have been a vehicle for featuring them and giving voice. I don't understand why anyone doesn't like strong women. I mean, it's so awkward for the old school people to still look for typecasts for timid women on TV. It's insanity. I believe in strength and passion and fighting for you, and I love that Anna does that. I want to keep piling on the awkwardness. Is there more? I'll read more.
No. It's enough. No, and I really underestimated how uncomfortable this would make me feel. Because it's sweet, and I'm so appreciative, and I read these, on my own, and it means a lot to me. But it's enough. Thank you. I don't want to read it to the audience anymore. But
no, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. So, but can I just say, look, as it turns out, some of the things I'm most proud of is how we affected people across the world. And as it turns out, a lot of times it was about the issue of religion. I remember reading the Reuters story. We didn't expect it at all. We didn't know anything about it. I'm just reading a random story about this 15-year-old Turkish kid in Germany who was considering going to join ISIS and had been radicalized. And then in the middle of the article it says, but he heard this broadcast from the Young Turks and realized that it was okay for him to be gay, and that God created him that way, and that he wouldn't create him that way and then hate him for it. And that changed his mind, and he came out instead of joining ISIS. Everything was worth it on that story alone, right? I remember I was once at the RNC, and a Kurdish reporter came up to me and said, "Oh, that's the famous Cenk Uygur." And I'm like, "Really? Tell others." Not sure anybody else knows that. He's like, "No, in Kurdistan, you're famous because after we retook one of the cities, you said we would be free forever now, and that we had stood up for ourselves." And that got broadcast all over Kurdish territory. I love that. I'm super proud of that. Relatively speaking to certainly what they have been in the past, Kurds are way more free. They fought for it. They have tremendous courage, and I love that we stand up for the powerless. So back to Poland, though. So if you hear 98% of the abortions were done because of fetal deformations and abnormalities, you might be thinking, really? Or are people using that as an excuse? No, this is a very important thing. There's only 1,000 abortions that were allowed legally in Poland in this time period. There was 200,000 estimated abortions that were done illegally or outside of the country. So most of the abortions are already banned in Poland. So this was for people who actually had medical problems, and they even shut that down. And now to Anna's point, religious people have trouble understanding that we are not in your religion. We don't have to follow the rules of your religion. So Muslims make this mistake, fundamentalist Muslims do, when they say you're not allowed to draw the Prophet Muhammad. No, you're not allowed to draw the Prophet Muhammad. I'm allowed to draw anything I like because I'm not in your religion. I used to be in Islam. Islam is no worse than any other religion. It has wonderful parts about helping the poor and the needy, etc. It also has parts I don't agree with. That's why I left it. They're like, okay, now you have to follow the rules of the religion you left. No, I don't. That was the whole point of leaving it. And so then on Christianity, they're like, okay, us Christians wrongly believe that the Bible says that you should not have an abortion. Actually, the Bible is pro-abortion. Read Numbers, you'll see. But okay, whatever. That's their interpretation of their text. Like, okay, so that's why you have to follow my religion. Wrong again, Bob. I don't, especially in America, where we do not establish a religion. It's in our founding document. So just think about it this way, guys. What an amazing assumption of privilege for conservative Christians to say, you must all follow our religion. What an absurdity. I'm not in your religion. In a country you claim is free, I'm supposed to be bound by your interpretation of ancient mythology. That's obvious insanity. We just haven't been able to say that because our media doesn't have the courage to call out religious zealots. They always bow down. Oh, we have to be respectful. We have to be respectful. No, I don't have to be respectful of you telling me what to do with my life. That's not what we signed up for. My parents came here from Turkey. We came here for freedom. We came here because we have the ability to worship any religion or no religion. You don't get to come and then tell us, oh, now you're going to be ruled by a Christian theocracy. I'm not interested in America, and I'm also not interested in that in Poland. And if you're in Poland, they're not even right about their religion. Read Numbers. The Bible is pro-abortion. That's an absolute fact. They've been lying to you from day one. And then they say, and by the way, for us people who are not religious, they're saying, no. I know in Harry Potter, Dumbledore said that you should be against abortion or for abortion, but my priest interpreted that to be against abortion, so now you must follow Dumbledore. No, I don't have to follow Dumbledore or Odin or Athena or Jesus or Muhammad. They're all myths. So go ahead and hate me if you want, but read those texts. They're all comically wrong.
Okay, so now can I think it's important to shed some light on what was going through my mind when I went through that rant, because look, a huge part of it, of course, was the story we were covering. But it was also like, I was so tired of hearing you talk about what the Bible says. Like it was also you, right? Like you're making a good point, but like we've worked together for 14 years and you've made that point about like, oh, the Bible says don't eat shellfish and this and that. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like it doesn't even matter what the Bible says. We live in a country with religious liberty, meaning that we're not forced to believe one religion or the other. It also means that we don't have to believe any religion. We can be atheists, we can be agnostic, so like, I get why you make that argument, and it's a good argument to make. But in that moment, I was just like, I don't care about numbers. Like, I just don't want to hear about numbers anymore. I don't want to hear about any of it. I don't want to hear right wingers cite their Bible. I don't want to hear your argument about how the Bible doesn't say that. I just want everyone to understand we live in a country where the federal government is not allowed to force a specific religion down your throat. That's all that matters.
So I know that they can't get this through their thick heads, but a lot of Asian cultures think that an abortion is like knee surgery. They think it's the most uninteresting medical procedure. They don't ascribe any morality to it at all, pro or con. So now we have the West saying we're so arrogant in our beliefs that even though the majority of the world does not agree with our beliefs, we're going to say that it's a moral issue and they must follow our version of morality. It's just every part about it is insane. And I'm tired of coddling fundamentalists. So in a sense, of course, you're right. What difference does it make if Zeus, had sex with a duck or a woman? He didn't have sex with any of them, or a swan, I think it was, right? It's so, but especially in America, if you think we should follow your religion, you miss the whole point of the country.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.